Women's Caucus for Art, The Women's Caucus for Art WCA, founded in 1972, is a nonprofit organization based in New York City, which supports women artists, art historians, students, educators, and museum professionals. The WCA holds exhibitions and conferences to promote women artists and their works and recognizes the talents of artists through their annual Lifetime Achievement Award. Since 1975, it has been a United Nations-affiliated non-governmental organization, NGO, which has broadened its influence beyond the United States. Within the WCA are several special interest causes including the Women of Color Caucus, Eco Art Caucus, Jewish Women Artist Network, International Caucus, and the Young Women's Caucus. The founding of the WCA is seen as a great stride in the feminist art movement. Overview. The Women's Caucus for Art membership includes artists, students, educators, art historians, and professionals from museums and galleries. The organization holds conferences, produces exhibitions, conducts research, and issues awards. Along with the founding of the National Museum of Women in the Arts, its creation is seen as one of the great strides that have been made in developing an institutional infrastructure for women's art and art history since the 1970s. History. Background. Within the broader feminist movement of the late 1960s and early 1970s, a feminist art movement began to contest women's underrepresentation in professional art organizations, art exhibitions, and art history textbooks. The movement was a major watershed in women's history and the history of art. Its slogan was "The personal is political." In 1969, Women Artists in Revolution WAR formed in response to the inclusion of only 8 women among the 143 artists shown at the Whitney Museum's 1969 annual. WAR demanded that the museum change its policies to include more women artists. In 1971, Linda Notchlin's "Why Have There Been No Great Women Artists?" and Judy Chicago and Miriam Shapiro started the Feminist Art Program at Cal Arts, which provided a new arts education for women based on mentorship, training in tools, research about women artists, consciousness raising, and role-playing. The following year, Paula Harper and 21 participants in the Feminist Art Program conceived of a landmark collaborative installation staged in an empty house in Los Angeles and called Woman House. College Art Association Women's Caucus. At its annual conference in San Francisco, women within the College Art Association formed a Women's Caucus on 28 January 1972, electing Ann Sutherland Harris as the first president 1972-1974. However, tensions developed between this group and the CAA board, and in November 1973 the CAA executive asked the Women's Caucus, which is not officially affiliated with the CAA, to drop the use of the phrase of the CAA from its name. Women's Caucus for Art founded in 1974. Mary Garrard, president of the caucus from 1974 to 1976, oversaw the formation of the Women's Caucus for Art WCA as an independent nonprofit organization. Arlene Raven, who, with Judy Chicago and Sheila Leverett de Bretteville, founded the Feminist Studio Workshop of Women's Building, was also part of WCA roots, as was Alina Dickinson. The WCA grew, establishing regional chapters and publishing research on women's art. Membership broadened from predominantly art historians to a majority of women artists, and the third president, Judy Brodsky, was herself an artist rather than art historian. In 1977, the Coalition of Women's Art Organizations (CWOW) was formed as a political arm of the WCA. Organizational structure. The Women's Caucus for Art is a national member organization with 23 regional chapters located throughout the United States. The headquarters, in New York City, is an umbrella organization governed by a national board of directors consisting of an executive committee president, president-elect, treasurer/secretary, Vice President/Chair of National Exhibitions, Past President/Chair of Legacy, Vice President of Chapter Relations, Vice President for Organizational. The national president is voted in by the membership for 2-year terms. Half of the board is nominated by the incoming president and approved by the board, and the other half is voted in by chapter representatives. Many of the regional chapters are organized as separate 501(c)(3) nonprofit organizations. The Northeast region consists of WCA New Hampshire, Central Mass WCA, WCA New York, and Philadelphia WCA. The Southeast region consists of Greater Washington, D.C. WCA, WCA Georgia, WCA Alabama, WCA Florida, and WCA Louisiana. The Midwest region consists of Chicago WCA, WCA Michigan, WCA Minnesota, WCA Indiana, WCA Nebraska, and St. Louis, Missouri WCA. The Southwest region consists of WCA Colorado and Texas WCA. The Pacific region consists of WCA Northern California, WCA Peninsula, WCA Monterey Bay, Silicon Valley WCA, Southern California WCA, and Oregon WCA. Special Interest Caucuses. Within the WCA are several special interest causes, including the Women of Color Caucus, Eco Art Caucus, Jewish Women Artist Network, International Caucus, and the Young Women's Caucus. After being appointed to Vice President of Minority Affairs by the President Ofelia Garcia in 1986, artist and activist Faith Ringgold proposed the formation of a Women of Color Caucus. It was within this context that Coast to Coast, an arts organization for women of color, was created. The Jewish Women Artist Network (JWN) was founded by Franciato Bachman. From 2006 to 2012 it organized national conferences of Jewish-related themes. The International Caucus maintains WCA involvement with the United Nations, develops art exhibitions related to the UN goals, develops collaborative projects with other global organizations, collects data about WCA art and activism projects, and shares this information with the larger WCA membership. The Young Women's Caucus supports women artists who are college students, returning students, and young professionals seeking to create a career in art. It provides networking resources to established women artists within the broader organization. Lifetime Achievement Awards. In 1979, the WCA created the National Lifetime Achievement Awards. The goal was to acknowledge the work of notable women in the arts and stimulate the growth of opportunities within the arts. An important annual function, honorees are selected by a group of notable WCA scholars and artists. A few honorees include painter Georgia O'Keeffe, painter Alice Neal, art historian Lucy R. Lippard, sculptor and painter Selma Burke, and Women's Museum founder Wilhelmina Holiday. Awardees. 1979, Isabel Bishop, Selma Burke, Alice Neal, Louise Nevelson, Georgia O'Keeffe. 1980, Annie Albers, Louise Bourgeois, Caroline Durieux, Ida Kohlmeyer, Lee Krasner. 1980 Alternate Awards, Bella Abzug, Sonia Johnson, Sister Teresa Kane, Grace Paley, Rosa Parks, Gloria Steinem. 1981 Ruth Bernhard, Adele Breeskin, Elizabeth Catlett, Sari Dianes, Claire Falkenstein, Helen Lundeberg. 1982 Bernice Abbott, Elsie Driggs, Elizabeth Gilmore Holt, Catherine Kahn, Charmian von Wiegand, Claire Zeisler. 1983 Edna Andrade, Dorothy Daner, Locke Jacoby, Ellen Johnson, Stella Kramrisch, Leonore Tawney, Pecolia Warner, Warner. 1984/1985. 1986 Nell Blaine, Leonora Carrington, Sue Fuller, Lois Mailou Jones, Dorothy Miller, Barbara Morgan. 1987 Grace Hartigan, Agnes Mongan, Maud Morgan, Honor Shara Elizabeth Talford Scott, Beatrice Wood President's Award, Patricia Hills. 1988, Margaret Burroughs, Dorothy Hood, Miriam Shapiro, Edith Standen, Jane Teller, Jane Teller, Jane Teller, Jane Teller, Jane Teller. 1989, Bernardo Bryson Shawn, Margaret Craver, Claire Leighton, Betty Sarr, Samila Sanders Louise. 1990, Ilsping, Elizabeth Leighton, Helen Serger, May Stevens, Pablita Villard. 1991, Teresa Bernstein, Mildred Constantine, Ottilie Laloma, Mine Occubo, Delilah Pierce. 1992, Vera Burdich, Paula Gerard, Lucy Louise, Louise Noun, Margaret Tafoya, Anna Tate. 1993, Ruth Asawa, Shifra M. Goldman, Nancy Graves, Gwen Knight, Ada Salazar Martinez, Emily Wahineka. 1994, Mary Adams, Maria Enriquez de Allen, Beverly Pepper, Faith Ringgold, Rachel Rosenthal, Charlotte Strafer Rubenstein. 1995, Irene Clark, Jacqueline Clipsham, Alessandra Camini, Jean Lacey, Amelia Mesa Baines, Celia Alvarez Manaz. 1996, Bernice Bing, Alicia Craig Faxon, Elsa Honig Fine, Howardina Pindell, Mariana Pindo, Kay Walking Stick. 1997, Joe Hansen, Sadie Cross Kriebel, John Quick to C. Smith, Moira Roth, Kay Sekamachi, President's Award, T. Karin, Ophelia Garcia. 1999, Judy Baca, Judy Chicago, Linda Fry Burnham, Evangeline J. Montgomery, Arlene Raven, Barbara T. Smith. 2001, Joyce Aiken, Marie Johnson Calloway, Dorothy Gillespie, Thalia Galma Peterson, Wilhelmina Holiday, Ellen Lannion, Ruth Waddy, Lannion, Ruth Waddy, 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 Ruth Waddy, Waddy, Ruth Waddy, Ruth Waddy, Ruth Waddy, Ruth Waddy, Waddy, Gillian, Ruth Waddy, Waddy. 2002, Camel Billups, Judith K. Brodsky, Muriel Magenta, Linda Nochlin, Marilyn J. Stockstad, President's Award, Barbara Wallanen. 2003, Elena Dickinson, Susie Gablick, Grace Gluck, Ron Hartfield, Elena Munro, Nancy Sparrow. 2004, Emma Amos, Joe Bear, Michayatami, Helen Levitt, Yvonne Rayner, President's Awards, Elizabeth A. Sackler, Tara Donovan. 2005, Betty Blayton Taylor, Rosalind Carter, Mary D. Garrard, Agnes Martin, Yoko Ono, and Sutherland Harris, President's Award, Andrea Barnwell. 2006, Elena Antin, Marisol Escobar, Elena Gadon, Yoe Kusama, President's Award, Maura Riley. 2007, co-hosted with the College Art Association Committee on Women in the Arts, WCA recipients, Barbara Chase Rebood, Wanda Korn, Buffy Johnson, Lucy R. Lippard, Elizabeth Murray. President's Award, Connie Butler, CWA Award recipients, Ferris Allen, Judith K. Brodsky. 2008, Ida Applebrug, Joanna Frew, Nancy Grossman, Leslie King Hammond, Yolanda Lopez, Lowry Stokes Sims President's Award, Santa Barraza, Joan Davidow, Tay Mariana Nunn. 2009, Marin Hassinger, Esther Hernandez, Joyce Kozloff, Margot Machida, Ruth Weisberg, President's Award, Catherine Opie, Susan Fisher Sterling. 2010, Tritobia Hayes Benjamin, Mary Jane Jacob, Senga Nengudi, Joyce J. Scott, Spider-Woman Theater, Lisa Mayo, Gloria Miel, Muriel Miel, President's Award, Wanda Guzman, Karen Riemer. 2011, Beverly Buchanan, Diane Burko, Ophelia Garcia, Joan Martyr, Carolee Schneeman, Sylvia Slay, President's Award for Art and Activism, Maria Torres. 2012, Whitney Chadwick, Suzanne Lacey, Ferris Allen, Bernice Steinbaum, Trin T. Minha. President's Award for Art and Activism, Karen Mary Davalos, Kathy Salsers. 2013, Tina Dunkley, Artie's Lane, Susanna Torula Level, Joan Semmel, President's Award for Art and Activism, Leanne Stella. 2014, Phyllis Bramson, Harmony Hammond, Adrian Piper, Faith Wilding, President's Award for Art and Activism, Hai Seung Tak Lee, Janice Nesser Chu. 2015, Suko Kiki Smith, Martha Wilson, President's Award for Art and Activism, Petra Kuppers, Hism Petra Kuppers. 2016, Tomi Arai, Helene Ailon, Sheila Leverett de Bretteville, Juana Guzman. President's Award for Art and Activism, Stephanie Sherman. 2017, Audrey Flack, Mary Schmidt-Campbell, Charlene Tetters, Martha Rossler, President's Award for Art and Activism, Kat Griffin. 2018, Lee Bontecu, Lynn Hirschman-Leeson, Gloria Arenstein, Renee Stout, President's Award for Art and Activism, Kathy Gallegos and Amelia Jones. 2019, Olga de Amaral, Mary Beth Adelson, Gladys Barker Grower, Mira Score, President's Award for Art and Activism, L. J. Roberts and Arana S. Souzas. 2020, Joyce Fernandes, Michiko Itatani, Allison Sarr, Judith Stein. President's Award for Art and Activism, Rose B. Simpson. Exhibitions. National exhibitions. 1996, Beijing and Beyond, as part of 1 year after Beijing event in the public lobby of the United Nations, September 9, 1996. 1996, Transforming Tradition, Women's Caucus for Art National Juried Exhibition, Bromfield Gallery, and Chinese Culture Institute, Boston, Massachusetts, juried by Susan Fisher of National Museum of Women in the Arts, Eugenie Tsai of the Whitney Museum at Champion, and Boston artist Magdalena Kemp. 1997, Beijing and Beyond, Women Artists Respond to the World Conference on Women, traveled to Minneapolis Women's Consortium Building, Minnesota, the HUB Formal Gallery of Portland State University, Oregon, the University of Texas at Dallas, Mills College, California, and the Art Gallery, Chicago. 2010, from the Center, juror Lucy Lippard, venue Woman Made Gallery, Chicago. Dates January 22, February 25. 2011, Sanctuaries in Time, the Kraft Center for Jewish Life at Columbia/Barnard University, New York, NY. J. Wen Show, juror Maya Balakursky Katz of Touro College, New York. Co-directors Janice Nesser Chu and Brenda Olbong, January 18, March 1, 2011. Co-chairs Faye Grajar, Simone Solton. 2011, Reversing the Gaze, Man as Object, organized by Brenda Olbong, Priscilla Atani, Karen Gutfriund, and Tania Augsburg. Some Arts. Dates November 4:30, Kinsey Institute. Dates April 13, June 29, 2012. 2011, Hidden Cities juror Lisa Phillips, director of the New Museum, New York City, venue New Century Artist Gallery. Nick director Karen Gutfriund. Dates February 1, February 12. 2012, Song of the Land, Hebrew Union College Institute of Religion, Los Angeles. J. Wen Show, juror Ruth Weisberg, former dean, Roski School of Fine Arts, University of California. Co-chairs Faye Grajar, Simone Solton. 2012, Petroleum Paradox, For Better or for Worse. A juror Elena Hartney, venue Denise Bibro. Fine Art. Dates May 24, June 23. 2012, Momentum, celebrating 40 years of WCA Women Artists, juror Rita Gonzalez, venue Gallery 825, Los Angeles. Director Karen Gutfriund. Dates February 17 to March 2. 2013, Bound, juror Cara Rosevear, director Karen Gutfriund, venue Phoenix Gallery, New York City. Dates Jan 30, Feb 23. 2014, Equilibrium, Art for a Changing World, jurors Beat Minkowski and Mary Stoppert, venue Woman Made Gallery, Chicago. Dates January 17 to February 27. 2015, National Juried Exhibition, with 4 exhibitions presented by the Women's Caucus for Art jurors Petra Kuppers, Karen Gutfreund, and Faye Graujower. Venue, Westbeth Center for the Arts, New York. Dates February 7 to 22. International exhibitions. 2012 Woman Plus Body, collaboration with Korean artists. Exhibition director Hai Seong-tak Lee, exhibition co-director Sherry Cornett, juror for U.S. Works Tanny Augsburg. Venues/dates: KEPCO Art Center Gallery, Seoul, South Korea, October 13-19. Media Cube 338. United Nations affiliation. The Women's Caucus for Art has been a United Nations-affiliated NGO non-governmental agency since 1975. An NGO is any nonprofit, voluntary citizens group which is organized on a local, national, or international level. Task-oriented and driven by people with a common interest, NGO perform a variety of service and humanitarian functions, bring citizen concerns to governments, advocate and monitor policies, and encourage political participation through provision. As the liaison group between WCA and the United Nations, WCA International Caucus members have participated in and created exhibitions, side events at UNDPI/NGO conferences in support of UN goals and priorities, and participated in UN Commission on the Status of Women conferences. In the fall of 1995, the UN-sponsored Fourth World International Conference on Women was held in China. The purpose of the conference was to discuss the advancement and involvement of women in world affairs. The WCA sent 100 women artists, art educators, and art activists to attend conferences and workshops. As a reaction to this expedition, the artists were asked to create works depicting their experiences. From this was born the exhibit Beijing and Beyond: Women Artists Respond to the World Conference on Women.